Well, howdy toddy, Rebel fans. Here we are for episode 5 of the Rebel Nation Conversation. I'm your Rebel Fan 69, and my co-host is the Themetalreb. How we doing this weekend, Metal?
Man, doing great. Really enjoyed those games yesterday. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do. I
There,
enjoyed
there,
it. You know, the Texas Tech game kind of was a blowout, but other than that, the others were pretty daggum entertaining. I mean, and if you like
yes, they were.
I liked watching Georgia and the Southeastern Conference championship game just on a defensive front. Man, good Lord, did they dominate that game defensively or what?
Yes, they did. They
And
did.
the
It
one
was, and
drive,
we'll get to all of it, but the game that intrigued me the most was Indiana and Ohio State. And I'll tell you, man, running a close second was that Virginia Duke game. Believe it or not. I
yeah, I
mean,
didn't
they're
watch that made me sick. Actually, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was an entertaining game, obviously, but just made me sick that it went that way.
You cannot lose that game if you're Virginia.
No, you
You
can't.
you you can't. That I told my brother that is a brutal loss for that program. I mean, you've got it all right there, right in front of you, man.
The foot is in the door, man. You're in the game, you know, and
You're there. I mean, you can't lose that game. But
we know what it
it,
feels like, Rebel. Metal. We lost last year to Florida with that very
yeah,
same scenario on the line.
yeah. But it also tells you kind of what you suspected anyway, and that's the fact that they're just not that good. They're not playoff good.
No, ACC as a
Man,
whole. You know, at the end of the day, it all kind of worked out, I believe, because I think I honestly think the ACC got their best team in there right now. But I,
yeah, I do too. And it looked like for a minute that they were going to have nobody.
yeah, I know. If they went the Notre Dame route, obviously,
Yeah,
um, man, what
yeah,
a yeah, I know it was entertaining. It's just it's fun that I would not have wanted to be on that committee last night, this morning. I mean, good Lord, at that game just sent it into a tailspin. With
yeah.
what fixing to have to do. There was only one. I mean, the way it is right now, their hands were tied. That bracket to me is about the best they could possibly do after the
Yeah,
way that game's played out.
yeah. I mean, you'll have some arguing, whether or not Alabama should have made it, but the committee said from the beginning that they were not going to penalize a team for losing, the conference championship game. But you say that and look at Virginia. But the difference is they were on the cusp anyway of not making it, even at 10-2. And so losing to a team that had lost 5 ball games,
That was rough.
that was
Bad
rough. But
And like you said the other day on that other one, we did bad losses count but more than good wins.
yes,
That's
they
a bad
do.
loss, man. Ain't no other way.
Bad loss.
Uh, let's say I don't think Alabama was the big problem as much as the. I mean, yeah, you had to choose them between Notre Dame, but the Notre Dame, Miami. What the controversy there was, if Miami is the better team, how come they weren't ranked in front of Notre Dame last week or the week
Yeah.
before? When they didn't play yesterday. But I honestly feel like they finally got it right. I think Miami should have been in front of Notre Dame the whole
Yeah,
time.
they should have been in front of them all along, but how do you how do you make that decision,
last
the
night.
timing, and that's what you're saying. How does that happen?
It made
But
it, the optics of it look bad.
yeah,
Looked really bad.
yeah, yeah,
But
they did. It's listen. Why don't you? I was saying about this earlier. Why don't you explain real quick, run it down for maybe those watching that don't understand how JMU and Tulane both make the field.
all right, so the way that committee has to do, they got 4 auto bids for the top highest ranked 4 conference championships. So basically, Tulane, because Duke wins the ACC, they're not ranked at all. And so Tulane is now the 4th highest ranked conference champ. So they get in on the conference champ auto bid, and James Madison gets in on the group of 5 auto bid. So there's your 5 auto bids, right? Now the other 3 conference champions are in the top 4. You know, Georgia, Indiana, and Texas Tech. So they didn't take up an extra slot. But since the 4th, the only other one out there that can even come close would be Duke, and they're not ranked. Tulane's ranked higher, so they get a auto bid that way, and the group of 5 gets the group of 5 auto bid goes to James Madison.
So for those of us who hate the automatic bids, we get 2 group of 5 teams.
Right. 2 instead of 1. So, I said it on Neil's board a while ago and in a one thread. I can't remember exactly what the thread was, but I said, they talked about on the selection show there needed to be some sort of thresholds or something. My deal is we could have just one easy little deal in there. If this happened, call it the 2-lane rule if you want to. If a group of 5 team is one of the top 4 highest ranked conference champions, well, then you don't get a second one in there. We don't need that.
There is no way you can have 2
No, you should.
G5. It's just, to me, it's already an atrocity having 1 in there that's taking the place of a deserving, P4 team. But okay, I understand it. I get it. I understand why, because they don't have their own thing. But with that being said, now you're shoving 2 in our face. It's just
It ruins the integrity of the actual tournament. That's the way
it does.
one, to me, ruins the integrity of the tournament. But now we've got 2. And so
2 makes a mockery of it. Again, I don't like the 1, but at least I understand it because those teams. They don't have any other opportunity.
yeah, no
They
other
don't have their own championship, so to speak. So
all,
at least it gives them theoretically a chance. So I can live with it. I don't like it, but I can live with it.
well,
But
all right.
2,
So yeah, two message. But what if? Here's the one caveat that I said in my little solo rant a while ago. If say, and it's no way possible this can happen. It just ain't. But let's just, in case it ever did, we'd have a caveat in there to address it. Say a group of 5 team was one of the top 4. Then you might could get another spot. But
that's not
there's
going to
no way
ever
they can be
happen.
there. Strength of
Yeah,
schedule is not going to let them be a top 4 team. They're never going to be a top 4 team.
yeah.
They have not
I
played.
agree with that theory, but the reality that's not going to happen.
No, the reality won't. But I'm saying put it in there as just verbiage right now, just
Yeah,
basically in case it ever did happen.
yeah,
We'd have something there to fall back on. It wouldn't be like we just invented it on the spot to stop them. We'd done it,
yeah,
But yeah, there's no way in hell they could ever be a top 4 ranked team. They don't play
Mm-mm.
nobody that's going to get them there. And I'm not down in their competition. I'm just they're not playing people that's going to get them. They ain't played the schedule Texas Tech has played. They ain't played the schedule Indiana's played, Georgia or Ohio State.
Yeah,
I mean, they ain't played the schedule that the rest of that team
yeah.
in this deal have played. Tulane's played a couple. They played us. They lost by 5 touchdowns.
And that's another thing. I hate the matchup for us. I mean, I'm glad to be in the playoffs, of course, obviously. But man, we've already played that team. To me, it's not even about the margin of victory the first time. It's just I hate playing the same team, but it's the way it worked out. Is what it is.
Uh, you know, they sit there and they talked about. Greg McElroy brings up and says, that the first thing I disagreed with, Ole Miss being 6, A&M being 7. And it was a big draw because that's a big deal. We get the 6th or the 5th spot, we get to play one in group of 5 teams, right? The 7th team gets to play a division. But you could have flipped us with A&M, and I'd been okay with playing Miami. Let's play Miami then. But then there's no easy
Yeah,
draw.
I like that game better from an interest standpoint. You know,
Paired with
now
Ohio State, though.
it's
That would be
the likelihood of winning the game isn't as high, but you know,
yeah,
I like that. I love the idea of Miami coming to Oxford for a playoff game, man.
wouldn't it have been good?
That'd be a lot of fun, yeah. But as it is, you know, nobody's going to be much interested in our game. Well, I guess they will just because of the other storylines,
Right. Which is
But
hammered to freaking death.
who's got the path is Oregon.
Right. I agree. Oregon's paired up with Texas Tech. Don't know that bowl game right off the bat. And let's see, that's the Orange Bowl.
Well,
Yeah,
that's going to be a long trip for their fans.
yeah, for Oregon fans. Texas Tech ain't no short. Ain't Lubbock, ain't
No,
that?
that's going to be a long trip for both sets. Yeah.
But you're right. If I had to pick which team, if you could say, all right, you got to play one of these top 4. Well, heck, obviously I'm going to pick the 4th ranked team. I'm going to play Texas Tech. Indiana kind of impressed me.
Well, and I was going to say, there's some years where 1 through 4, there ain't a whole lot of difference. But to me, there is a massive difference in 3 and 4 this year. Those top 3 teams are really good.
So you
go
think that
from
Indiana and Ohio State are miles ahead of Georgia? You really?
No, I don't. I think those 3 teams
Okay, all
are
right.
are on the same plane. And
Way
then I
ahead.
think, yeah, after that, going from 3 to 4, to me, there's a big drop.
Big gap. Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree with that 100%. But
yeah,
Texas Tech played their way into it. There ain't no doubt. They earned the spot.
yeah.
Um,
I
and you,
mean,
go ahead.
yeah, they earn a spot, I guess, but that's even debatable. I mean, they did what they had to do in their conference. And I'm just talking about as far as quality wins and you know
Well,
BYU. Yeah, they can say they had 2 wins over a top 10 team, but come on, man, be what you know what I mean? I mean,
polls ain't perfect, but that's all we got to go on, I guess. And,
yeah,
I just would have hated to been on that committee and had to make these decisions today. But like I said, I do know that I think they finally got it right on the Miami deal. And me and you, I texted you earlier, right before the show started, or before the show had actually started, but before they made any picks, that I thought Alabama was out. I really did.
and I didn't.
Well, it was the way they lost. That was a pretty 3 touchdown loss, and then they're the first team in the playoffs to ever be in there with 3 losses.
Yeah,
I didn't, I know that they said they weren't going to penalize, but I just felt like the resume, but they had a great resume to tell them they should be in it too. Uh,
Well, if looking at the body of work thing, man, that the championship game saved them. Being in the championship game, I mean, that's stating the obvious. But when you look at the body of work, man, they got a bad loss on that resume too.
yep,
Now it happened 4 months ago, but it still counts.
yep. And
So
the panel on the at the selection show said that very thing. You can't count the good wins if you're not going to count that bad loss.
yeah, yeah. But committee said, and if you're a Virginia fan, you can say, well, what about us? He punished us for,
Well, another one's BYU.
but
They played in the championship game and lost, and just totally out.
yeah, but the committee didn't get that one wrong.
No, we didn't get it wrong. I don't. I think the committee got the dang bracket right. If you want to know the truth.
Yeah. The best team they played all year, they played them twice, and they got murdered both times. So
The only game that I can argue with that is wrong in this thing is the James Madison, but that ain't the committee's fault. Their hands were tied by
yeah,
the damn rules.
that's
Right.
yeah. You
So
can say it's wrong, but you can't say it was a surprise because we all knew that was a possibility. And it's like you said earlier, man. When Duke won that game last night, it
tailspin
yeah.
complete. So one other thing, did you see where I mean I just caught a little bit of it, but Notre Dame's opted out of the bowl game, taking their ball and going home.
Mm-hmm.
I think Auburn is too. I don't know.
Let me tell you who ain't.
Her, who's that?
Our friends in Starkville are
That's what I
excited
said. I
about it.
heard they wanting to jump in there, ain't they?
Yeah, they are not opting out of their bowl game. They're going to take their 7 losses and they're going to pack up and go to their bowl game.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Oh, it looks like they're going to get in on APR. They on the APR watch, as somebody said. But so all right. So here's the thing: do you think all these teams opt out of this bowl game system that didn't get in the playoffs? They opt out of the bowls. Do you see this being the beginning of the end of the bowls and the expansion of this CFP up to say 32 or something like that?
in its current form, absolutely. And I saw where a lot of folks were giving Notre Dame crap today for opting out, but man, when you're Notre Dame at the start of the season, your goal is the playoffs. That's it. Anything other than that, what are we doing? I get it. The most uninterested in a bowl game I've ever been in my life was our bowl game last year against Duke.
Well,
After
yeah.
we quit, you see what I'm saying? It just there ain't no way I would. You couldn't have funded my way, and we went to that game.
Well, I mean, I watched every
Just
down and was glad we won it, the same way as I was against Clemson
same,
the year
me
before.
too. But
Uh,
man,
but
of
yes,
course I
you're
wanted to
right.
win. If we play in it, I wanted to win. But
Huge emotional letdown.
huge emotional letdown, man. Just huge. And I'm not trying to take a shot at state. I really ain't. I mean, shoot, we may be right there with them in 12 months, but that just shows the difference in certain programs and other programs. The the mindset, the expectations.
Yeah, I get it. And I understand why Notre Dame's doing it. I'm just wondering at the end of the day if that's going to be the beginning of the end of the bowl system as we see it
Yeah, it's got to be, man, because
in its
within the
current.
next couple of years, you're gonna have a situation where you have almost every team opt out,
Yeah,
with the exception of you know USM going to the Um,
Oh,
yeah,
or
and
lose.
it's just gonna it's already just a joke. All the bowl games. There was
We got
even
some,
back in the BCS days, there was too many.
and now it's just crazy. I'm talking about
That's just crazy.
we got every brand out there that sells toothpaste or whatever wants to
They got a bowl game, yeah.
have a bowl game.
And I
And
don't understand. Uh, you know, I get everybody wants to share in the commerce, but man, these games, how are you even finding sponsorship for some of these games? Man, you ain't got 10,000 people in the stands. Nobody's watching on TV. How is it still a money making proposition? I don't
well,
understand it. The money has to come from viewership. That
well,
hasn't changed.
some advertisement, which it
But
there has to be
advertisements aren't going to spend the money if nobody's watching.
if nobody's watching. They got to have viewership, or the ads are not getting to people.
Yeah. Unless I'm just very wrong about what I think the interest is in these games. In these games.
Uh, yeah, I just right now I see it being the beginning of the end. They're going to keep we'll keep the bowls that are tied in here, but if we expand the playoffs to a bigger field, because I mean we're going to have to at some point anyway, we can bring in some of the lower tier teams that ain't lower tiered bowl games into this. How we got the Cotton Bowl, we got the New Year's Six right now are all
Yeah.
tied to the playoffs,
Yeah.
with the national championship game being a standalone game. We'll just have to bring in some more of the bowl games, so we won't lose them all.
Yeah.
Uh, we,
We,
but we're going to keep more people. That's the only way we're going to keep the teams in if they got a chance to work their way to the national championship. Because it's not even not so much the school opting out as it is these mercenaries we got now. We're
yeah.
we're, we're hiring. We're getting hired guns out of the transfer portal to get a team to make the playoffs, and if they don't make it, they got to protect their pro.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, I like to one day let's put some thought process into the playoffs and try to figure out a way to. Uh, I kind of came up with an idea how to expand it. In my head, I'm going to expand on that later on. But in this current situation, I see these bowl games this year just going to be. I mean, that's going to be a bunch of trash.
It's going to be the worst ever. Yeah.
Um,
It's going to be the worst ever.
so, I mean,
I
I'm gonna
mean,
say, the SEC gets a lot of. That's the thing, though. We get a lot of money out of teams. How can Auburn truthfully? How can Auburn back out of a bowl bid? Um, you know, with the SEC,
well,
we share revenue.
I was going to say these contracts, for example, a team couldn't opt out of going to the SEC championship game. You don't have that option. So if you're in a situation where going to that game hurts you, concerning the playoffs, you don't have an option to not go and participate in that game.
Yeah,
What the next step is, enforcing that to these bowl games as well. But you're not going to see that happen.
uh,
Once it goes to 16 teams of playoffs,
yeah. I don't. I see the playoffs going to have to get bigger than that. Honestly, I do.
bigger than 16,
Yeah,
to do away with all the bowls, it will. But I think that the natural progression for the next increase is going to be 16 teams. But man, you don't want it to get so big where it starts to feel really saturated. Like I still feel now with 12 teams, it still feels like, man, if you make the playoffs, you've got a good team.
Auburn's 5-7 overall, though, man. They ain't really truly bowl eligible. So
Same
definitely,
way with State.
yeah, I know. So, but that's what I was saying earlier. I was saying that when that in that thread about Notre Dame, is that Auburn basically opted out saying they wouldn't take an APR slot, but State,
Yeah.
So anyway,
But if you get more than 16 teams, it ain't gonna feel right to me as far as the quality of teams. It's gonna start to get watered down, man.
yep,
And then
probably.
how many?
I get that, but we can kind of swallow up some of this group of five stuff and get rid of it in the first round. You know what I'm saying? If we'd go to a big deal, get rid of all them group of fives right off the freaking
Kind of
bat.
like March Madness.
Yeah, and then we'll have a good tournament when we say if we started with 32, then we'd have a good 16.
Yeah,
You know,
man, that's a lot of teams to make the playoffs.
yeah.
I mean, because then you got to think about how many teams get buys. Then definitely more
You're
than
not
four.
going to get buys at 32. Any kind of a multiple of 16, 32, and then double that 64. No buys in that. That's a play out straight out with no buys. But
Yeah,
that's a straight up got to roll.
yeah,
Win or go home, and it only take one more weekend of play over a 16 team bracket.
yeah.
But you'd pretty much have to start the weekend after. But
But man, who's gonna be excited first weekend watching Ohio State and South Alabama? So
nobody's going to be excited, but we'll knock it out of the daggone park. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be kind of a glorified. We'd knock South Alabama out, and get it to where they get a good team. And the the Ohio State would basically be getting a glorified practice, scrimmage type practice.
yeah,
Hey,
you
here's the
can.
deal that I came up with, and it's going to ruin one of my future ideas here for our little podcast for future. But what if, and I kind of come up with this the other day in my head, what if we went to a 24 team playoff? Bear with me on this. First round, everybody plays 12 games. That gets you to a round of 12, right? You
Then
re
you have to buy.
you reseeded at that time. You've got this. You got basically got this bracket right here. The committee seeds it after the round one. Then the top four seeds receive a bye for the second round. The 8 teams play. You get you to a second round of 8, and then you basically got this second bracket. You got this bracket, but everybody plays the first weekend,
Yeah,
and then you reseed after the first round. The top fours get buys. And that would let you have these group of fives in there. Almost every conference champion. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. You're still going to make some people mad. The 25th and 26th team are going to be mad. But you pretty
yeah,
much got your entire poll in
yeah,
there.
yeah. And that's reseeding after the first weekend. That's how you're saying that you're only adding one weekend,
And you could play
and and
the
and
very
you
good
could
at
keep
your conference championships.
you could keep exactly. Right now, everybody's off next weekend,
Hmm.
so doing it that way, we'd go ahead and start this puppy up next weekend.
Right. And then, you would have, you reseed, top 4 teams get a bye. And maybe throw a weekend in there that that are 10 days or something like that before the first game of that first round of 12. I
Yeah,
mean, of the 12 team part. So they'd have a little extra practice. But you would knock out them group of fives. And if they made it past that round, because a group of five is going to be playing the number 1 or number 2 team. If they make it past that, then they deserve to be there.
Yeah.
You know, they really
Yeah.
deserve to be there because I mean, basically you're putting your entire poll in there except the number 25.
Yeah.
So hell, I like the idea, but I'm not on the committee. But well, we're nearing that 30-minute mark. You just want to shut her down here? We'll just tape again Wednesday. Or you got anything else you want to talk?
Um, yeah, we can keep going if you want to. We can take a little break here and then
Yeah,
go another half hour because I got a couple more things I want to get into.
yeah.
Um,
I tell you what, why don't we like you said, we'll call this break time for episode 5.